Hi, my name is Thijs and I work as a research engineer at SIDN Labs.
And I'm Remco, I work as team lead security at SURF.
In this video we will introduce and demonstrate the testbed that we've developed for the DDoS Clearing House.
The DDoS Clearing House is a system that allows you to share fingerprints of DDoS attacks, and that way organizations can prepare for attacks before they actually hit them. And it's one of the cornerstones of the anti-DDoS coalition.
The Clearing House consists of three core components. When a member of an anti-DDoS coalition receives an attack, they can analyze the DDoS traffic using the dissector. The dissector summarizes the attack's characteristics into a fingerprint. The DDoS fingerprint contains information such as the source IP addresses, target ports and communication protocols. The dissector shares the fingerprint with the rest of the coalition through the DDoS DB. This is a central database in which DDoS fingerprints are stored and shared with the coalition. Other members of the coalition can use a fingerprint to proactively combat the attack. We can use a fingerprint to generate traffic mitigation rules using the last core component of the DDoS Clearing House, which is the converter. With the mitigation rules in place, the same DDoS attack can be warded off by other members of the coalition.
Now we're developing all this in a European project called Concordia, and we're going to test this with the Dutch anti-DDoS coalition.
Deploying the Clearing House requires organizations to change their production networks and have data sharing agreements in place with the rest of the coalition. The legal and technical developments are both essential to the DDoS Clearing House, but they happen at different speeds.
Because we don't want these tracks to slow each other down, we set up a testbed that closely resembles an operational setting. That way, we can test and demonstrate the DDoS Clearing House without actually having a data sharing agreement in place.
Our testbed consists of three elements. The first element is a virtual anti-DDoS coalition. To test the Clearing House in practice, it has to be deployed in a coalition. Our coalition consists of SURF and SIDN Labs. The second is the traffic simulator. Using the traffic simulator, we can generate traces of DDoS attack traffic and send it to one of the partners in the virtual anti-DDoS coalition. The last element is the DDoS Clearing House components deployed throughout the virtual anti-DDoS coalition. Members of the virtual anti-DDoS coalition can request traffic to themselves via an online dashboard. And this traffic is not of the same caliber as a real DDoS attack, it's just enough to test the cycle of the DDoS Clearing House. And because this generated traffic does not contain personal IP addresses, we are free to share it without a data sharing agreement. We will now show you how we use our new testbed to pilot the DDoS Clearing House. First, I will request some traffic from the traffic generator to SIDN. On the traffic generator's dashboard, I can customize the packets that make up the attack. Here I make the traffic generator send traces of a UDP flood attack on port 8989 to SIDN. This graph shows all incoming traffic on the target server at SIDN. We can see the DDoS attack by the spike of traffic. I stop capturing the attack and we see that we have gathered some traffic on port 8989. I can now feed this traffic capture file to the dissector module of the DDoS Clearing House. Here we see a preview of the DDoS fingerprint generated by the dissector and see that it is successfully uploaded to the DDoS DB. On the web interface of DDoS DB, we can indeed see the fingerprint we just created. It is a UDP flood attack on port 8989, and the source IP addresses are those of the traffic generator.
I will now download the fingerprint from the DDoS DB itself and use this information to mitigate the DDoS attack that will now be targeted at SURF. With the fingerprint and the converter combined, I can create mitigation rules that will help the firewall at SURF to ward off this attack. I will now request the same attack that we just sent to SIDN Labs, and hopefully we can see that we don't capture any of the DDoS traffic because of the mitigation rules that we just created. The graph on the right shows all the incoming traffic, but we can see that the attack traffic is mitigated by the rules that we just created. We can use our testbed to test the DDoS Clearing House with many types of DDoS attacks. This way we can also test new developments that we make without having to change anything in our production setting. This makes it a lot easier for us to continue the development of the DDoS Clearing House.
In the future, we will pilot the DDoS Clearing House in the Dutch anti-DDoS coalition. This testbed provides us with an opportunity to interactively test the Clearing House, to show off its added value to prospective new partners, and to better prepare us for its deployment in production. If you would like to know more about the Clearing House or the testbed, visit knowmoreddos.org.